Hello student, this is Palash Chakravarti, assistant teacher, Score High School and College. Welcome to my class. This is for class 11, subject English past paper, unit 1, lesson 3. So look at the picture. Here we have two legends in the world history, Valentina Tereshkova and Kalpana Chawla. So from the picture, you can gaze on what topic we will conduct our lesson today. So today's topic, two women of extraordinary achievements. So at first, we will learn about the living legend, Valentina Vladimirovna Tereskova. So let's go through the passages. Here we have the picture of the great lady. Valentina Tereskova was born in the village Mesla Nikovo Tutayavsky district in central Russia. Tereskova's father was a tractor driver and her mother worked in a textile plant. Tereskova began school in 1945 at the age of 8, but left school in 1953 and continued her education through distance learning. She became interested in parachuting from a young age and trained in skydiving at a local aero club, making her first jump at the age of 22. At that time, she was employed as a textile worker in a local factory. It was her expertise in skydiving that led her selection as a cosmonaut. So here we have the pictures of her training period. So after the flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human being to travel to outer space in 1961, the Soviet Union decided to send a woman in space. So on 16th February 1962, Proletaria, that means the poor Valentina Tereskova, was selected for this project from among more than 400 applicants. Tereskova had to undergo a series of training that included weightless flights, isolation tests, centrifuge tests, rocket theory, spacecraft engineering, 122 parachute jumps, and pilot training in MiG-15 UTI jet fighters. This is Tereskova with her backup cosmonaut Solovyova. This is Vostok 6 capsule, and this is the launch of Vostok 6. Since the successful launch of the spacecraft Vostok 5 on 14th June 1963, Tereskova began preparing for her own flight. So on the morning of 16th June 1963, Tereskova and her backup cosmonaut Solovyova were dressed in spacesuits and taken to the Space Shuttle launch pad by a bus. After completing her communication and life support checks, she was sealed inside Vostok 6. finishing a 2-hour countdown. Vostok 6 launched faultlessly. Although Tereskova experienced nausea and physical discomfort for much of the flight, she orbited the Earth 48 times and spent almost 3 days in space. With a single flight, she logged more flight time than the combined times of all American astronauts who had flown before that date. Tereskova also maintained a flight log and took photographs of the horizon, which are later used to identify aerosol layers within the atmosphere. Here we can see Tereskova with the Soviet leader Khrushchev. Vostok 6 was the final Vostok flight, was launched 2 days after Vostok 5, which carried Valery Bykovsky into a similar orbit for 5 days. Landing 3 hours after Tereskova, the two vessels approached each other within 5 kilometers at one point, and from space Tereskova communicated with Bykovsky and the Soviet leader Khrushchev by radio. Okay, here we have the picture of Tereskova with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Much later, in 1977, Tereskova earned a doctorate in engineering from Zhukovsky Air Force Academy. Afterwards, she turned to politics. During the Soviet regime, she became one of the Presidium members of the Supreme Soviet. Now, this living legend is a member in the lower house of the Russian legislature. So, on her 70th birthday, when she was invited by the Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, she expressed her desire to fly on Mars, even if for a one-way trip. Okay, so this is all about the text. Here we have some famous quotation of Tereskova. So anyone who has spent any time in space will love it for the rest of their life. I achieved my childhood dreams of the sky. A bird cannot fly with one wings only. Human space flight cannot develop any further without the active participation of women. They forbade me from flying. Despite all my protests and arguments, after being once in space, I was desperately keen to go back there, but it didn't happen. She stated during her 70th birthday celebration in 2007 that she dreams of flying to Mars. I am ready to fly without coming back. So now we will learn some vocabulary from the text. The first one, cosmonaut. meaning a Russian or Soviet astronaut. Isolation, the state of being isolated. Centrifuge, an apparatus that uses centrifugal force to separate particles from suspension. Space shuttle, any of several space vehicles. Orbit, to move or to travel around in a curved path. Horizon, the line or circle that forms the apparent boundary between the earth and the sky. Vessel, a craft for travel. Legislature, the part of government that makes or changes laws. So students, now this is time to give the evaluation. So here we have a question of flow chart. Prepare the flow chart and submit it in the group. So the flow chart will be like that, showing the life history of Valentina Tereskova. So number 1 has been done for you. So better you just watch the previous video and make the flow chart correctly and send it to the group as soon as possible. Okay, so this is all about today. This is all about today. Thank you very much for watching the video. Stay safe and be blessed.